What's up everyone, G2 Vex30 here, coming at you with my patch 1.8 competitive support tier list. I was super excited to make this one because burst meta is seeing its way out. With the nerfs in 1.8, supports that were not as viable may see some spotlight soon. Now, with this tier list, like the rest of them, this is all my opinion. If you disagree or do not like what I say, that's fine. Feel free to share it down in the comments. Just be sure to keep it civil and let's have a conversation with it. I hope everyone enjoys this video, and if you do, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to keep up when I post a new video. I said that's at the end of the video, but I will say it here too. Be sure to check out the next few days and the next few weeks because I have some great videos planned and they're going to be coming out as soon as I'm going to be working on multiple videos today. So I really want to get these out. I'm really excited, to be honest, for the future of this channel. Since it's the off season of the PPL, I have more time. I'm going to be making more in-depth videos. Just to give you an example, I'll be making one called the downfall of burst meta, and you'll have to just check it out when it comes out to see what's all in it. But I'm super excited to make that one, to be honest. Besides all that, I hope you enjoy this tier list and I will see you there. Alright, what is up everyone? Here we are with our patch 1.8 competitive support tier list. This patch actually, I think, changed it a decent bit with the supports. Now, it's not really nothing was changed with supports. Burst meta is now falling off a little bit, and that makes some champions more viable than others. So you will see it in the list, I'll talk about it, but let's get right into it. Number 1, Furia. Furia, again, she has just had those constant nerfs. I wanted to try to make her work, but she has this issue where she can only be ran into one comp. If you have 2 tanks or typically 2 tanks, 1 DPS and 1 self-sustaining DPS. That doesn't make for a good support. That makes for a very situational support, and even though she's good, right? She's too situational. She's actually going to move down 1 for my last, and she's going to move into A+. I love Furia. I want her to be viable, but since the constant nerfs, and really I only see her viable into 1 team comp, she's going to sit at A+. Next, Grox. I want Grox to work, right? But he has practical issues with the way his heal works when it comes to Spirit's Domain. I think Totemic Ward, everybody keeps asking me about it. I think it is good, but it has too many counters, that being Dredge, Drogos, Bomb King. Let me look at the list. What else can counter it? Willow. Leanne does well into it just because the spam and the constant cauterize. I said Bomb King, yeah. There's so many counters to it. It can work as an off support, but with Spirit's Domain, in my opinion, being his best, and it has too many practical issues. Grox is moving down 1 to A. Grox has a friend that has the same issues as him, so we'll talk about him later, but Grox has too many practical issues with Spirit's Domain. Body blocks, the range on it, the healing doesn't scale, right? If they made Grox healing scale like it does with his damage, with his auto attacks, I think that legendary would be viable. Also, if they made his right clicks bounce off of allies and heal them, I think he would be viable as well. Just too many issues with him. Until he gets a buff, I don't see him coming up from here. Grover. Grover really didn't change. You didn't really see him in the qualifiers or HRX, but competitively, he's still good. He's one of those supports that you look towards whenever, say, Ying or Damba's banned. Spoilers. But he's just there, you know, in competitive. He's good. He's a good support, and that's all you really need from him. So we're going to leave him where he was, and we're going to keep him at S. Grover's a great healer, great ultimate, great damage, in competitive at least. I think in your casual games, Grover might struggle a little bit more because you do need a coordinated team that works off the Grover well. Let's move on to our next one. Jenos. Now this is what I was talking about earlier. Some champions become more viable as burst meta falls off. And Jenos is the perfect example. Jenos is really good into 3 DPS comps, even 2 tanks, but less damage. He's really good at boosting your team's damage and keeping them topped off, you know, regularly. He doesn't do too much healing, but without burst meta, Jenos actually moves 1, just 1, S-. I really feel like Jenos could be more viable in this meta. He is untested, unproven after the nerfs that came through. I think there still needs to be a couple more nerfs to a couple champions to make Jenos even more viable. And there are supports that are better than him that you will almost always pick over him. But I feel like with the nerf of burst meta and the slowing down of it, I feel like Jenos is a lot more viable now. So maybe in patch 1.9, I'll have a better feeling for him. But for now, we're going to move him up one slot because on paper, he is better. Damba. Damba did not change. He is one of the best supports in the game. And my truthful, honest opinion, he is the most well-balanced and well-designed champion in the game. I think Damba should be the pinnacle of all supports. You should balance around Damba. But aside from my love for Damba, I've been a Damba, like, I started as a Damba main. I love him. I love the character. I love everything about him. He stays where he's at, S+. He's still one of the best supports in the game. I love him to death, and nothing really changed with him. Next is Grox's buddy, Pip. Pip has practical issues. Healing Potion Megapot still struggles with the Cauterize, amount of Cauterize in the game. Leanne, Drogos, all the built-in Cauts, Cassie's, there's so much built in the Caut in the game. Willow Dead Zone. Even though Willow Dead Zone got nerfed a little bit, it's still pretty bad. And then you run Combat Medic as well. That has good healing output, but again, practical issues. You are lobbing heals at people. It doesn't have a big radius. And if you're trying to hit a Drogos in air, I don't care how good you are at Pip, you're gonna struggle. So that's why we're gonna take Pip and move him down and keep him with his friend Grox. He's moving down 1 to A. Him and Grox are in the same place. Where I sit, they're in the same place. Pip, though, I don't know how you make him more viable. Honestly, it's very hard to make him more viable as a healer because he has way too many practical issues with his auto attack. I think if they just base increase the healing whenever you're running the legendary, maybe he's more viable, right? It's hard to say. It's hard to give an idea to make Pip more viable. Like Grox, I had a few ideas, but Pip, it's too hard. He's just gonna sick at A. Whatever hi-rez does to him, you know, good luck. I can't give you an idea, you know? Next is Seris. Now Seris, everybody loves. I get this comment, Seris is the best. Why isn't Seris higher? What, blah, blah, blah. Seris is not higher in competitive because she lacks the utility and ult that other supports have. Seris outputs the same amount of healing as Damba and Ying. On paper, it might be more or less, but practicality-wise, and that's what you have to think about in competitive, the 2 or 3 supports that are higher than her just do more. More utility, better ult, better like built-in cards. Every single one of them do. Besides one, but one we'll talk about at the end. So Seris is going to stay in place, S-. Now, I have her at the same level as Jenos. I'm not sure if that is the right call, but I feel like Jenos could be up at this level. I'm giving Jenos the benefit of the doubt because he fell out of meta because of burst meta. And now I think he's going to come back to meta soon because the end of burst meta. Seris, I know everyone loves her, but she is just not as viable and competitive as she is in casual. And last, but not least, not least at all, Ying. Ying actually gains a spot on this list. She's going to S+. It was kind of difficult to put her at the same level as Damba. No, put Damba at the same level as her, because right now I think Ying is the best support in the game. And I'll explain why in a second. But I think Damba is the pinnacle of supports. And for a lot of support players, it's I'll take Damba or Ying, either one. The biggest thing with Ying is her ultimate. Her ultimate is insane. You get morale boost because you don't need Chronos when you go live exchange. You have a burst, 800 burst heal on a 1.5 second cooldown. You have clones that heal 400 and something healing per second, or 300 and something. I don't know the exact numbers right now. But she has so much split healing, and then she gets morale boost, and then she has the best ultimate in the game. By far. Now, when I judge ultimates, I judge how good they are, how easy they are to use. You gotta weigh those together. And it's super good because you can heal every single person on your team no matter where they are. And then on top of that, it's for 8 seconds and you don't have to do anything. You just punch your mirror and everybody's healed up to full. Ying will need a little bit of toning, I think. I think the best thing to do with her is reduce her ult charge by like 5 to 10%, and she will be more viable. That's really it with Ying. It's tough to put Damba on the same level as her, but Damba brings a lot more utility, a lot more everything. Ying just brings that ultimate and that split healing. Now, I want to go into a point I was making earlier real fast before we go through the overview. When I talk about utility, I'm talking about Grover Cripple, Damba, his Snake Stun, Damba's movement speed card, Swift Spirits, and Grover's movement speed card, Gentle Breeze. Now, these are things Seris don't have. When you're playing Seris healer, you either need to be running Void Abides or Mortal Reach to get that healing output to keep up. You can't go something like Agony. So honestly, what hi-rez needs to do is put utility in the Seris's kit. I've gave many different things they can do. I want to make a video on that actually. I want to go through every support and give ideas how to balance them or make them better. I'm going to do that soon, but that's off topic. Back to this. It's just Seris, just not enough utility. But that is my patch 1.8 support competitive tier list. Let's do a quick overview of everything though, because I want everybody to have a good general feeling about this, and make sure that you let me know down in the comments what you think about the tier list and what you would change yourself. Damba, S+, the pinnacle of all supports, one of the best kits in the game, most well balanced. Ying, S+, best ultimate in the game. Huge healing output. Split healing is kind of crazy. She can be healing 3 people at once. 800 burst heal here. One clone hitting one person, one clone hitting the other person. Just that on paper is insane. Healing 3 people and then pressing an ultimate button that heals all 5. Crazy. Grover. He is a staple in competitive supports when it comes to, oh, one of them's banned, or let's try Grover, you know, it's on a close map. He's more viable in close maps. He has a lot of damage output, and he has a good ultimate. His ultimate is close to Ying's ult when it gets game changing, but it's 10 times harder to use. Jenos. We put him up one because on paper, he became better because he fell off because of burst meta came into play, and I think he's going to come back as burst meta fades away. Seris. She didn't change. I know everybody wants her higher, but in competitive, Seris is just not as viable as a healer as she is in casual, but I understand why everybody thinks she's a great healer, to be honest. Furia. He just got knocked down one. She's like Jenos was in the last tier list. She's too situational right now. She can only be used in one comp, which typically you usually have a comp like that, but there are 10 times better healers to run instead of her. Just no Furia. And let's group these together. Pip and Grox, they have too many practicality issues. Grox, I think, can be fixed pretty easy. Pip can't. They're just not very viable right now. It's sad to say. Oh wait, I think I forgot a healer. Everybody, let's think about, oh yeah, I did. Hold on a second. Everybody wanted me to do this, so are you happy now? We put Moji on there. Everybody wants Khan and Torvald. Moji's the only one that's even close to be viable, and she would be D on this list, all right? Everybody who thinks Moji can be, no. Don't run Moji healer. I did a video on it. You can go watch it. It wasn't, I actually had a little bit of fun because I was playing with bodies, but it is not fun. Okay, it can be fun, but it's not very viable. So everybody was asking for Moji, there she is, and everybody else who asked for these two, because everybody asked for all these 3, is like, where are these at? They're all D. As a support, they're all D. Now Torvald's insane as a tank support, but as a pure main support, all 3, no. Get that out of here. Though I might do a video on those, I'm just saying. But that's it for my patch 1.8 competitive support tier list. Expect the next few days we're gonna do a patch 1.8 overview. I also want to do a video. I think it's going to be called the downfall of burst meta, and we're going to talk about how that affects supports, how that affects the game, and what I think about it, and let's have a conversation about it. I don't know when that's going to come out. I also have a kind of a new series I'm going to do, and it's going to start with Furia. It's going to be like a champion breakdown into a commentary, so it's going to be a commentary, but we're going to do a champion breakdown beforehand, so hopefully everybody enjoys that. What else do I have planned? I think that's it for now. I got 3 or 4 videos planned next few days. I have more time now, so I can put more effort in these videos, more time than I could before. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this tier list. I also hope you enjoy your day, night, evening, morning, dawn, dusk, or whatever it is where you live. And I will see you in the next one. Later.